Well, as if German vehicles weren't giving me enough problems lately, I cannot believe this! Like my E39 AMG, which has got the boot out of the garage at this point due to a misfire that I cannot figure out. I did the logical thing and went out and bought another German vehicle. Last week I bought this 2003 BMW M5, the last year of the E39 M5. It's got the legendary 5-liter V8. 6-speed manual transmission. I've always wanted to own one, and I thought it's finally time to see what all the hype is about. Unfortunately, in true Chris Sullivan fashion, this one desperately needs a clutch. That's not tire spin. We slipping. I did know that going into the purchase, so no big deal. I have ordered parts for the clutch, which seems like the first thing that we should tackle to get this thing properly fixed and on the road and driving so we can actually see what this 5-liter V8 has to offer. But parts aren't gonna be here for another 4 or 5 days, according to the tracking number I got from Rock Auto. And I gotta keep my feet moving on this. We've got a ton of stuff to do as usual, so let's start thinking about tackling some other stuff on the whiteboard. First things first, this driver's seat has got a tear right there at that seam. And it also, this is a common E39 issue, the seat kind of twists when you go to put it up, and I think that's a fix on the bottom there. So let's get right to work. Let's pull this thing forward a little bit so we can open the doors, see if we can get that seat out, maybe get it off to the upholstery guy, and then, I don't know, maybe get to work on getting the front bumper off so we can get that repaired. A bunny or something. Morning. Bright and early Saturday here. Less than ideal conditions for the Marauder to be picked up to go to Texas, but the shipper is down the street. It is what it is. Let's see how these summer tires do in the snow. We'll get to work on this thing in a second, but I thought you guys would want to see the last of the Marauder on the channel. Still got Kanye in the CD changer. Can't make this up. 2 for 2. The C8 and this. The last 2 cars I've sold in a snowstorm. It was 50 degrees 2 days ago. And we're sideways. Oh man. Every time I get a car perfectly, immaculately clean for a new owner, something like this happens. We'll take it nice and slow. We're just going down the street. It's just water. And salt. Calcium. There she goes. Alright guys, want to take a quick break from the BMW action to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Wolfbox. I just got their new G900 Pro rearview mirror dash camera. This unique dash camera essentially replaces your rearview mirror with a 12-inch touchscreen. Installation is a breeze. Just install the dash camera over your existing rearview camera, run the wires using the included tool, plug it into your 12-volt power source, or use the optional hardwire kit, and you're up and running. The front 4K and rear 2.5K cameras provide crystal clear resolution day or night, and it can clearly capture license plates and details even in low light. The 12-inch touchscreen even allows you to go on split screen mode, viewing the front and back camera at the same time. And you can even enjoy hands-free operation by managing basic functions using voice commands. Plus, the Wolfbox app allows you to easily download driving footage at 5.8 GHz speeds. So if you guys are looking for a top-of-the-line dash camera that seamlessly integrates with your rearview mirror, provides protection for the front and back of your vehicle, look no further than the Wolfbox G900 Pro. I'm going to have a link for you guys in the description, so be sure to check them out. Now, let's get back to the BMW.
Maybe try again.
Sounds good. Alright, well, it's actually a couple of days later, and I think that my clutch is only 2 days out now. So we're going to get to work removing this transmission, maybe the front bumper as well, but we already got some stuff done on the front seat. Boom! Got the whole front seat out of the car, and the whole seat back separated from the seat, and the leather off. So here is what I'm hoping we can repair. I sent my local upholstery guy a picture. He says he can repair it, but we'll see what he says in person. It's like the leather has separated there. I don't know if this is a common issue on these seats or what. The other part of me is wondering if the seat twisting put like an additional stress in this area, which kind of caused that. But a bunch of hog rings I had to cut, so we'll see what reinstallation looks like, or if I just give him the seat back and have him do it. But yeah, here's the heated seat element. So I don't know if he's gonna have to like cut in here to get in there, or what he's gonna be able to do. But he's an upholstery guy, so hopefully he has some ideas. Otherwise, we'll have to find replacement seat cover, but that is ready to go to him. In the meantime, over here, I've got the car on the lift, got both of the under trays off, including this aftermarket skid plate. It's like a solid piece of steel. Thing's pretty legit. Now, we didn't get as good of a look at this last time because I didn't remove the skid plate, but here is the S62. Looks like the drain plug has a tiny leak, but that's no big deal. Well, here's where we're after. If you guys are wondering why I don't have the lift farther up right now, it's because with the low ceilings in my garage, sometimes it's easier to just lay on this comfortable creeper and work at this level than to kind of hunch down on my sitting stool and get to some stuff. So I think that some of the stuff that we're going to have to remove to get this transmission out, like the exhaust and, you know, some skid plates and O2 sensors and stuff, I'm going to do right here, laying down, chilling. Speaking of exhaust, this whole thing needs to come down, starting here right at the headers. And this whole thing back to the tailpipes from the factory is one piece, which I've heard is like probably the hardest part of this job. But thankfully, this car has this aftermarket muffler delete in here, and they put some clamps here. So hopefully I can undo these, remove that. And then this giant piece becomes just slightly more manageable. All right, the E39 M5 is farther up in the air. We're just about ready to pull this transmission. So we got the exhaust down in all one piece, got all the O2 sensor connections unplugged, all the heat shields down, took the drive shaft down, which is a two-piece drive shaft. You can see the knuckle or whatever that goes in there. A lot of guys say you can leave the drive shaft in, but it wasn't terribly difficult to get it out, so now it's completely out of our way. I undid the shift linkage, and then I think there's one more linkage right there that we got to undo, but I think that'll be easier to get to once the cross member's undone and this thing tilts down a little bit and we can get to it. Slave cylinders out All of our wiring is tucked to the side. Only thing that's between us and getting this thing down is like, I don't know, 12 I think they're E11 and E12 bolts right here. So I got a bunch of extensions put together so I can reach those top ones there, and then we should be able to get this thing down. So that is what is next. Hoping I can use my new Vevor transmission jack. This is like a lower profile transmission jack. So it clearly fits under the car. I'm just hoping that once we get the transmission down that it will be low enough to pull it out. But I think it will be. This thing's got tilt in like both axes, so you know, hopefully it makes removing this thing and then reinstalling it and lining everything back up a little bit easier. Hopefully make some transmission jobs a little bit easier for me in the future. So if you guys are looking to get a transmission jack, I'm going to leave the link for this one, the Vevor one, in the description. All right, let's see if we can get this thing down, see what's left of that clutch and flywheel while we wait for parts. Yes. Ha ha ha. Oh, the hair on my chinny chin chin. Parts are just flying off this M5. Starting right here with the transmission, was able to get this thing out. The transmission jack was extremely helpful. Was able to just squeak it out from under the car in its lowest position. So this thing, I think, is going to be pretty darn useful for not only this project, but future projects. This thing sits kind of lopsided on here because the drain plug prevents it from sitting flat, but with the chains there, it's pretty sturdy. Also, this thing is significantly lighter than the T56 transmissions that I'm used to. I can easily just lift this thing off, put it on the bench if we need to. Here is the clutch. Here's the clutch disc. You guys saw this thing fall on the ground and leave 17 tons of clutch dust on the ground. So yeah, she's shot, but we already knew that. Here is the pressure plate. It's got a bunch of heat and hot spots on it. Everything is just covered in clutch dust. Interesting note, the bell housing for the transmission for this car, there's a couple different fasteners. Like, for example, the top ones use an E10. Most of these are E12, and the ones that go into the starter are like a different length. So I made this little map out of an old piece of cardboard and just kind of poke them through. So now I know exactly where these bolts are going to go on the way back. Underneath the car, here is the dual mass flywheel, which requires a special BMW tool to get in there to remove that, which just showed up. More on that in a second, but here you can see how much heat has come into this flywheel. You probably could get this resurfaced, but I just opted for a new one. Some guys were using, but if you're this far in, I feel like this is a while you're in there item. Also just found that my clutch line here is leaking. So I ordered one of those because this is probably pretty easy to do while we're right here. And conveniently, the driver's seat is out because I'm pretty sure this clutch line goes through the firewall. And you guys know there's no easier time to work under the dash than when the driver's seat is out. So while we wait on parts, I decided to keep moving and we removed the front bumper. Honestly, pretty easy on this car. There's basically two, I think it was T50 Torx that come up through the underside here, and then it's just all your connections, your parking sensor connections, fog lights. The headlight washer lines are all broken, cracked and brittle, just literally falling apart in my hand, so didn't need to undo those. And then just fog lights and a quick tug, and this thing came right out. So of course, gonna need to disassemble all this, fog lights, grills, sensors, this, that, and the other, and then we can get to work on this repair, which I got some new tools for on the way as well. So the flywheel removal tool is a T60. It's a special tool from BMW. I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks. But apparently it's just a T60 with like this part ground down. So I figured I would get a whole new set of long reach Torx sockets, including a T60, and I'll just grind this one down, and this whole set was like 16 bucks from my boy Jeff Bezos. So right now I'm gonna grind this area, I guess, and we'll see if we can get that flywheel off.
I'm in danger!
Just like that, got the bumper completely stripped down, broken down, and ready for body working. So here is obviously the main area of concern, big old crack on the bottom. Thankfully there's no missing pieces, so I think that we can repair this. You can see that they hit like a driveway or something and cracked it. So I think to repair this, first thing is gonna be to drill the ends of the crack to make sure that it doesn't propagate further. Then we're gonna use the new plastic welding kit that I just got, along with some epoxy and some mesh reinforcement, and we'll hopefully get this repaired and bodyworked and looking good as new. You can see that someone already came in here, tried to at least epoxy it back together. Then if we come down here, I think that they also tried to epoxy what the internet is calling the pork chops. These are like the little front slash underside splash shields that connects to the bumper right there. And you can see that it ripped off some of the mounting tabs, and they tried to kind of epoxy it back together. It looks like this thing has been like fiberglassed or something, so this is junk, which is fine because if you guys remember, my wheel well liners are have basically turned to dust and are just flaking away, so these need to be replaced as well. So I think we need wheel well liners all around, which is really unfortunate because the OEM BMW wheel well liners are still made for this thing, so that's the good news. The bad news is they're like $350 per side for a piece of plastic. And a lot of guys say you have to go with the OEM ones because they're the only ones that fit worth a damn, but man, do I really want to try some of the aftermarket ones. There are some that are coming, or that are made in Lithuania. They might take a week or two to get here, but the reviews seem decent. And for an 80 to 85% cost savings, it might be worth the gamble before we spend $700 on wheel well liners for this thing. If you guys have any feedback on any particular brands for the E39, let me know. Fog lights are out, crash bar or bumper reinforcement is out, grille is out, which I also just noticed is broken in this little spot here, which is kind of a bummer. Fortunately, an OEM grill is still available, and it looks like there's some aftermarket ones available as well, so hopefully this is not too terribly expensive of a repair. Here's the parking sensor trim things. Has anyone smoothed and painted these like black to match the bumper? That might look kind of cool, you know, smoothed out and matching the bumper. While we're painting stuff anyways, let me know. Flywheel is off. Here's the dual mass flywheel. I'm still waiting on the clutch and flywheel today. I still have not showed up. What I'm curious to see is, does it come with new bolts? It seems like they are sandwiched between the dual mass flywheel there. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to fish those out or if the new flywheel assembly will come with that. We'll see. I'm waiting for the FedEx guy to drop that off. Also, unfortunately, just got some bad news from the upholstery guy. Just dropped by with this so he could look at it. This cannot be repaired. This is not a real seam. You can see there's really nothing here to grab. It's just basically just a stitch line that BMW added. So the leather has dried out and is basically just tearing in half. So the only way to repair this really is to stitch in a whole new piece right here, which is not the end of the world. But this is the BMW ostrich leather, and you can see it's different, almost looks like a snakeskin or something compared to the regular leather. So this is a hard pattern to match. So we found something that's close, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If anyone has a lead on this seat cover right here, or this material, where I can get this material or very close to it so that we can cut out this section and repair, or basically make a new section there, let me know. All right, well, at this point, I am basically, unfortunately, waiting on parts to finish up this clutch swap. I forgot to order a rear main seal, even though I could have sworn I ordered it. Totally forgot. Clutch was supposed to be here today, but didn't show up, so we were waiting on parts for this thing. So I'm going to dive right into the front bumper repair on this thing, see what I can figure out for the seat cover, see if I can get something on the way here, or get the upholstery guy working on that. Just see if we can keep checking things off the list on my E39 M5 here. As always, check out merch on the website. Got the black hoodies. The gray hoodies are in limited quantities and are going fast. Got t-shirts, long sleeves, beanies. Check all that out, sullivan-co.com. Now, I gotta get to work on this bumper. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. Boost the algorithm, all that stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one.